Products carrying free-range and cruelty-free labels are attracting premium prices around the world and taking up more space on supermarket shelves as consumers choose to shop with their conscience. But that trend isn't necessarily reflected at the farm gate, and animal welfare campaigners have long lobbied for stronger legal protection for animals that are bred to be eaten. The pig industry is one of the most contentious, and one where Tasmania could soon be leading the charge for change.
Infested with maggots. She can't move. She's lying in faeces, mud and maggots. I have never imagined that I would ever find an animal in this condition. She's being eaten alive.
These images, taken inside a Tasmanian piggery last year and first revealed on Stateline, turned the spotlight on the intensive pig industry.
11:05 on...
Talkback radio and newspaper letters were flooded by people swearing off pork and calling for better animal protection. The farmer, Gary Oliver, was fined after pleading guilty to causing pain and serious disablement to an animal.
What was shown on Stateline and that particular piggery was an example of just generally bad practice and management. There are animals which are kept in sow stalls which are far better managed than that example.
Professor of Zoology at the University of Tasmania, Lyn White, is chairman of Tasmania's Animal Welfare Advisory Committee, or AWAC. This week, the committee advised the Primary Industries Minister, Brian Green, that Tasmania should ban sow stalls, regardless of whether they're well run.
The proposal that we put to the Minister is there be a restriction on the use of sow stalls from 2014, the 1st of January 2014, and a banning of sow stalls from the 1st of July 2017. There's clearly community concern about the use of sow stalls.
Commercial animals don't have the same legislative protection, which is outrageous since their ability to suffer is no different. And I think there is far greater community awareness around these issues recently. They're outraged. The legal profession is now outraged, and it's now up to governments to act.
The 13-member committee is made up of 3 animal welfare representatives. The rest are from industry, government departments, police, local government and the university. Only 2 members voted against the ban, but Professor White wouldn't say which groups they represented. Last year, when the Stateline story aired, the committee was considering regulations for Tasmania's pig industry.
That information came to the AWAC about halfway through its consideration of the pig code. If you're saying, have we gone down the route we're now following to recommend for the banning of sow stalls because of that video? No. But clearly that it has influenced the community's approach to intensive farming of pigs, I'm sure.
And AWAC listens to the community?
We, through our membership, yes, and also we get direct correspondence or contact from members of the community as well.
If the Minister accepts the committee's advice, Tasmania would become the first Australian state to legislate a ban on sow stalls.
It's fantastic that Tasmania may well be leading the rest of Australia in this. Someone has to lead in circumstances like this and say, we were wrong, animals should never have been treated like this.
There are about 2,000 sows in Tasmania. About 60% spend time in a stall.
But there are some pigs in Tasmania, once they become sexually mature, the sows are placed in stalls. They would stay there for their total pregnancy. They would be moved into farrowing crates, and after their offspring are weaned, they would probably move back into stalls. But not all farms operate in that way. That's only a proportion of the industry that follow that system.
But some spend their entire adult life tightly confined in either a stall or a crate.
There are some piggeries in Tasmania and on the mainland where that happens, yes.
The Animal Welfare Advisory Committee has recommended Tasmania adopt most regulations from a nationally agreed code, but that the state should go one step further. Deloraine pig farmer Neil Atkins says that's not a good idea. He believes AWAC's recommendation will do nothing to improve the welfare of sows. The National Code recommends that the time allowed for pigs to be housed in sow stalls be limited to 6 weeks after 2017.
AWAC would like that has advised the Minister to bring that limitation in earlier, to bring that in 2014, and move in Tasmania to ban the use of sow stalls completely from 2017.
But Neil Atkins argues that Tasmania has agreed, through a subcommittee of the Council of Australian Governments, to implement the 2007 Code of Practice. And if the government backs out, all future COAG agreements will be at risk.
If Tasmania is the first government to basically end one of the cruelest practices ever inflicted on animals, they will be applauded by every person that cares about animals in this country.
Sow stalls are now illegal in the United Kingdom and Sweden, and several states in the US have banned them or are phasing them out.
At a national level, 30% of producers are already seeing the writing on the wall and are not using sow stalls. And the largest piggery in Australia, Riverlea, has committed to getting rid of stalls by 2017.
It's inappropriate for the use to confine animals in those into crates and stalls for the period they are being enclosed. There is an animal welfare compromise to those animals, but there's an animal welfare compromise to almost any animal we actually farm or use. It's a matter of degree.
Well, Animal Welfare Advisory Committee consider the use of battery hens, battery cages.
AWAC's position would be that it would prefer not to have hens in cages, but in terms of trade between the states, if we take all hens out of cages in Tasmania, majority of eggs will come in into Tasmania from farms where their hens are kept in cages on the mainland.
Yet you've made a recommendation for Tasmania to go it alone in terms of sow stalls.
There are alternative methods of raising or breeding pigs, which we think can be equally successful and probably economically similar to the keeping sows in stalls for that period.
The Primary Industries Minister is not bound to follow his committee's advice.
To date, the relevant minister has generally accepted the advice of AWAC, yes.
Generally or always?
I think always, eventually.
The Minister also seeks the committee's approval for government actions. The poison to be used in bait on Macquarie Island was not listed for use on rabbits on Tasmania's pest register.
Our advice to the Minister to be used against rabbits on Macquarie Island only, and for this year only, for this particular winter period.
Was it a difficult decision?
Yes. It's a decision to add any poison to the register is a difficult one.
Brodifacoum is a highly toxic second-generation anticoagulant, which has been nominated for review by the federal government's Pesticides Authority because of environmental concerns. Yet, on the other hand, here we've got AWAC sort of giving the Minister advice, yes, let's list it on the pest register.
There are a large number of poisons listed on the National Register which are under review. It's a continuous review process.
Professor White says secondary poisoning of native wildlife will almost certainly happen, as it will be impossible to collect all poisoned carcasses. The peak national industry body, Australian Pork Limited, said today it's unaware of the Advisory Committee's recommendation. A statement from Tasmania's Primary Industries Minister, Brian Green, says he has not yet considered the committee's advice and will do that before making comment.